Welcome to the Victory Project podcast, undoing hopelessness with a godly purpose, love, and accountability. Since 2009, we've believed it's less about what we do and more about what we undo through education, entrepreneurship, and enlightenment. You're here because you believe a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let's shine that light. Let's build victory together.
Welcome to the Victory Project podcast. My name is Monnie Bush, founder and CEO of the Victory Project, and we're on episode 12. So that's, if I did my math right, that's 3 months. Man, is that right? 3 times 4? Yakir, please help me out with some math. Is that right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yes, sir. Well, it's great. And we got really special guests we'll talk to here in a few minutes. But joining me in the studio is the guy who's here with me all the time and doing a great job is Monnie Bush. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's
that's a good one.
Is Keyshawn Miller. So Keyshawn is our senior program director at the high school campus, and great to have you back.
Thank you.
You got a new rhythm yet with the kids back in school?
I normally just get in and I take about a 3-hour nap on the clock. And then,
that's good.
Then they wake me up. They come in my office and nudge me a little bit to wake me up.
How's the school year starting off?
Really good. A lot of our guys who struggled with their grades in the past aren't currently, so they starting off strong, kind of putting the pressure on the seniors a little bit. This is your last year in high school. Lock in.
Oh, good. Good, man. I love that. And back in the show with us is Yakir. Yakir, man, thanks for joining us. We were missed. Glad to have you back on.
Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, man. How'd your summer go, and how's the first couple weeks of school?
Well, I've actually only been in school 3 days. 3 days.
Only 3. Okay.
Yeah. And summer, it was just another summer to me.
Yeah.
I was just trying to work a little bit more, but school started off strong.
Yeah. Good. What year are you now?
Freshman.
Okay. And glad to have you back. So I'm going to introduce you to our guest today, Marquel Henry. Welcome to the show, Markel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, it's just great to have you on. Hope to have your brother on here sometime, and so you have to show him up. You got to set the bar high for him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the plan.
So let me read a quick bio, Markel, and then we'll jump into some questions.
Sounds good.
So Markel is a Dayton native and MBA graduate from Claflin University and holds degrees in business administration and Black World Studies from the Ohio Wesleyan University. A former student athlete, he has experience in business, nonprofit engagement, and community development. Markel is passionate about advancing economic and community development, promoting athletic and personal excellence, and supporting initiatives that expand opportunities and improve outcomes for individuals and communities. Through his experiences, he seeks to inspire growth, resilience, and a positive impact across diverse groups and settings. So that's awesome, man. And it's hard to capture, especially when you're putting a bio together or somebody's putting a bio together for you. Sometimes people exaggerate. I've not been known to exaggerate my bio before, but this is a case where you undersold. This is an undersold bio. Markel, you've done some amazing things, and you're going to be doing some amazing things, and we're going to get into that. But thanks for being on.
Thank you.
I'm going to kind of go to the bio right away. I noticed you said there's several things you're really interested in doing and you're pursuing. But one thing that stuck out to me was I'd like to tell us a little bit about your passion for economic and community development. Where does that come from? And what would you like to see happen in those two areas?
So for me, I grew up in the Northwest area in Dayton, so right up Gettysburg, over here by Hillcrest and Free Pike. And so, it's not the best neighborhood. And I also go through a lot of other neighborhoods as underserved, and, you see these different things that goes on. You see these communities with lack of resources, even with the school, some of these communities have food deserts. So not access to whole food or anything like that, even mentors. And so when you look at the community, you can kind of tell the outcome is going to be for a person just based off where they live. That's one of the biggest factors determining the future for our youth today. So I think that's kind of where it starts, being able to build up our youth is being able to build up our communities, being able to help develop our communities and help bring resources and mentors and, just better overall improve the health and the economic stability in these underserved communities.
Yeah. you've experienced it personally because where you grew up, and you turned out maybe not like some other people would expect. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
Yep. But that's not the case for most folks in those environments. What's some of the things that can you point to, like specifically, that you see when you drive through that community you came from? What are some of the indicators that you see that says, man, these folks are missing?
Well, a lot of crime rate, high crime rate. I even lost a few friends to gun violence that I went to school with and played football with. So, that's one thing. But also, when you look at the homes, you see a lot of abandoned houses and things like that, which drives down the value for the families living there. And also, drugs in the community, which is a big thing as well, which take things, kind of lower things in the community. So that's some of the things I've experienced and seen with my eyes. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, to kind of follow up, could you talk a little bit about some of the either current or past initiatives and nonprofits that you get involved with that kind of help the communities?
So aside from Victory Project, I did an internship in Columbus, actually. It's for a nonprofit called National Center for Urban Solutions. One thing they focus on is the improvement of urban societies and untapped communities. And they focus on improving health, education, and the workforce. So they're doing some good work in Columbus there. And another one I've been working with here in Dayton is a guy named Thomas Scroggins, and he's over at a nonprofit named Youth House. And so they focus on basically serving Black youth in the community and basically helping them reach the highest potential they can. So, they kind of give out scholarships. They do giveaways in the community. Right now, they're working on something big, but also other things that they do is like Kingmaker conversations, so where they have a lot of young men and also older men come in the community, kind of talk about these problems, just all men, kind of figure out what's going on, how we can help the young men in our community and, solve our problems and actually get emotional on a deep level. So, so that's a couple of nonprofits I've been involved with over my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does your role look like when you support these nonprofits?
And so basically reaching out to the community, helping find volunteers, and also help basically program this event to help figure out what we're going to talk about and just help bring everything together logistics-wise. And also I did an internship with them a couple of summers ago. They had a small entrepreneurship camp for youth. So basically teaching them the basics of business and actually had them make like their own business that they want to run and had them come up with the business plan and things like that. So
that's a great skill. That really is a great skill. That's something you wouldn't even get until you got to college. Maybe in college. Some college may even teach that.
Yeah.
But that's an important skill.
So when you went to college, what made you choose your majors?
That's a good question. So to be honest, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got into college. So I knew you could use business for a lot of different things. And so I'm like, why not business? Black Road Studies, that was something I was always interested in, but I also had a lot of credits. So 'cause I took a lot of Black Road Studies classes. And so one of my advisors and professors told me, I only had to take a few more classes and not to have a double major. So I said, why not? Let's do
practical.
It. Made sense to do it. So really the biggest reasons. So just trying to take things day by day and let God guide me.
I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but maybe we can go a little bit deeper. We talked about what the youth are facing today and in a lot of communities, but we're speaking mainly to urban communities. When it comes to the crime, school systems, role models, when you look back at your life, how were you able to avoid some of these pitfalls?
So I think the biggest thing for me is I had a community around me and I had a great family around me. So, I had my dad, my mom, and also, I joined Victory Project in middle school, but even before that, I think the biggest thing would be family. I think that's plays a big role in having mentors in your life.
Yeah. So between family and even at Victory Project, when we're bringing on a staff member, one of the things we highlight is we remind them that VP success starts at home.
That's
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
So we believe that's your first mission field as a Christian, that you got to make sure your relationship with God and your family is in order. And then if that's in order, he'll bless outside of that, like whatever, whatever he's called you to do. But when you don't get that right, how can you expect anything else to come along that's going to be good?
Yeah. I was going to say that's really the biggest thing. That's why it's so important to see groups like Victory Project doing the work. But even then, so when you look at the youth nowadays, a lot of them, they don't have a sense of belonging and also a sense of identity. So they become what they see on TV, on social media. They become what they listen to, which is a lot of rap music. And so that's because they don't have these positive family members in their family. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of the crimes today, drugs, because that's what they're seeing. That's what they think they are. That's what they think they can become. So
I understand that.
Did VP play a role in your life? And if it did, how did it?
VP played a big role in my life. First of all, it introduced me to a lot of great young men, great people as well. And also helped strengthen my relationship with God. But one of the things it also did was help me, put me in situations to where, I had to grow as a person. Whether that was meeting people, going out, learning how to actually set up a dinner table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, whether it was talking in front of just public speaking, talking in front of all the kids or the students, just introducing myself, things like that. But it also allowed me some focus on how I can be a light to others in my community, people around me, help me figure out how I can help people because I was already in a good situation where I came from. So it helped me figure out how I can pour into others as well.
That's good.
Great explanation.
Just through our conversations, because we met a few times before this podcast, and reading your bio, I was like, wow. What instantly came to me was this idea of excellence being kind of a priority. What motivated you to instill that value in your life?
I mean, so going back to when we talk about mentors and everything, I feel like my father was probably the biggest part because he was also my football coach my younger days. So he could be my father at home, but he also could coach me and be a little more rough with me on the field. So I think that's one of the biggest things that helped me instill the hard work and the resilience. And I also learned that pretty early. If I keep going, things will eventually work out. One thing my dad would always say is, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, And he would just do little things like, I grew up with 3 other brothers, so he put us all 4 in the back seat. And we'd just be back there, squished. And he'd be like, it's okay. You'll get through it. And another things he would do, we would just ask him. We would ask him for a lot of things, whether it was to have a snack or some chips or something. He would just say no, just for no reason. And sometimes my mom would get mad at him, but he would tell us, we have to be okay. We know if not getting our way. We have to learn as we grow up to be men how to deal with rejection, how to handle that. So,
wow, man, yeah, your dad. That's good. A lot of folks that don't know how to handle that emotionally and mentally. But yeah, that's good. Really good.
Oh, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
Me, I would probably just go back to the education. Being able to graduate college while playing football and wrestling, then also being able to complete my master's degree after. So I was the first one in my family to graduate with a higher ed degree. So my older brother Xavier, he was the first one to graduate with a college degree. Period. At my family. And so being able to graduate with a master's degree feels like a pretty great accomplishment for my family, So, I think that's great. And also Marquise, he's going to law school. So seeing that is great. Back to my brother Xavier, he's also getting his master's degree right now. So being able to just see how we're all bettering each other and be able to help better our family with that.
Man, that's awesome. I think with you and your brother specifically, when you guys would come to Victory Project, because we really haven't talked about your sports experiences because, you guys are like tremendous athletes in whatever, like football especially, but I think if I remember right, when you're in sophomore, junior year in high school, you're like, I'm going to try this wrestling thing and like went to state, right? I'm going to try it and goes to state. So that's that kind of like just raw talent and ability you had. But when you guys would come in, a lot of our guys are coming from school, but come into VP and they're dragging, got tired and everything. And you guys would do the very same thing, but then you had football practice afterwards. And there was more than one occasion they'd come in and without even saying anything, pick up a broom and start like sweeping up the dining hall or just in the kitchen working. And I'm like, anybody tell you to do that? And they're like, no, I just saw some stuff on the ground. I'm going to clean it up real quick. And I'm like, man, that is a great trait to just be always looking to be an asset in any situation, not being told to do something. And obviously it's been modeled for you, and you just have learned that. And I would often tell you and your brother, Victory Project needs you more than you need Victory Project. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you guys were like staff. You come in, but you guys just had a humility about yourself that was very contagious. Bad things are contagious, but so are good things. Well, if he's doing it, I can do it. And you guys have already been role models for a lot of young men through VP, and it sounds like some other places as well.
Appreciate that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the most impressive things I think of. Like a lot of the young men we talk to, like one of their biggest goals is to be an athlete. That's like their main focus. And until reality hits, they realize how hard work it is. But that's like their main thing. So if you could give like a word of wisdom, what would you say to those young men out there to help not limit them to just be an athlete? They can be so much more.
First, I would say try to find a passion. That's one thing I struggled with when I was younger, is trying to find something outside of sports. Because there's so much outside of sports, even in technology world with AI and computer programming and robotics. So there's so much that's going to lead you a lot further than sports ever will. While sports is good to build those, personal skills, they can only take you so far. I definitely enjoyed my time with sports, but as you can see, I'm done. I've got to play in college, which I'm grateful for. But now, it's time to do something else, make a better impact.
I think the most important question of the entire day. So every Thanksgiving we do a turkey bowl, and not to brag, but the staff is 2-0. Can we get a signed contract as a ringer and join our team this year?
Yeah.
I'll definitely come out.
No, please don't. Please no.
Yeah, I was gonna say you learn a lot with sports. And for me, going back to wrestling, I started wrestling my junior year, and I sucked at it. I almost quit. And then coming back my senior year, got good, and like Monnie said, qualified for state. And then wrestled in college, which I didn't even think I would ever do, because I still, even though I got good, I didn't like wrestling. And in college, it got way harder, especially with the cutting weight. It's one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And so I wanted to quit in college as well. But, I still stuck around, because this is one book that I'm reading right now. It's by Ohio State's head wrestling coach, Tom Ryan. It's called Chosen Suffering. And the premise of it is basically doing things that are hard, basically to build and grow yourself, to build resilience, and so that was kind of my chosen suffering wrestling. Especially with the cutting weight, mentally and physically was tough, but I continued to do it, and so that's another big part of just my personality and resilience and hard work.
What role does your faith play in your life and decision making? Share a little bit about your faith, if you don't mind.
My faith plays a huge part. Definitely keeps me level-headed and keeps me calm. Lets me know everything is going to be okay. It's like I said, back in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so, and even going back, talking about the youth, not having a mentor and a sense of identity, a big part of that is, for me, I grew up in a faithful household. So I knew my identity was found in Christ. So that was always something I could lean on and use as a backbone, whatever I was going through. And so even now, I'm still trying to grow my relationship with God. When it comes to not getting my way or just things I don't understand, just praying and being able to read the Bible and understand that, everything happens for a reason. And that, God, whatever position I'm in, God's going to put me in the right position at the right time, for the right moment. So everything is going to work out.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking about college, what was your backup plan?
So for me, I didn't really have a backup plan, because, for me, college was always going to be what I did. My parents didn't really give me another. Well, it's not like they forced me to go to college. I could have went to the Air Force and took other routes if I wanted to, but for me, I just thought that was the correct way to go. To go to college, get an education, and find a good job after that.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning along the way as well. But I just always thought that was the correct way to go.
But maybe talk a little about what your profession is right now. What you're doing and how that's going.
Yep. So right now I'm currently working at State Farm. For a great guy named Ronnie Red out in Huber Heights. So doing a lot of customer service stuff. Trying to keep people calm about their premium increases and claims and things like that. A lot of bad drivers on the road, so be safe out there. But I'm doing a lot of things there. I've been able to learn a lot from being in that position that I am today, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. And the one thing that I've learned, you had to actually read a book. It was called Go for No. And this is going back to the rejection thing. So it's kind of from a sales perspective, but you can use it in real life as well. It's basically, instead of, shying away from asking questions or trying to get things because you're scared of no, try to go for as many no's as you can, because that gets you closer to your opportunity of getting that yes. Whether that's a sale or whether, asking a girl out on a date, or whatever it is you may be, you know, chase those no's, because it's going to get you closer to that goal of getting that yes. And it also helps you build patience, resilience of handling that rejection, handling that no. Instead of taking that no as just rejection, you take it as feedback for growth. So that's one big thing. It was a great book. Great lesson.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme here of like, don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah, that is good. So we have a volunteer that comes in every Wednesday, and he talks about you guys very highly, Mr. Griff. He said he was coming to your guys' games. He said you guys were like almost like faster than a speeding bullet, some things of that nature.
Yeah,
Marquise, maybe I wasn't that fast.
If you could talk a little bit about your guys' relationship, how some of those volunteers and staff members poured into you during your time at VP.
The staff and volunteers is one of my favorite parts of VP, because I remember so many, and they play a huge part in Victory Project, because when you have Victory Project, they're your mentors. They're the people that's pouring into you and trying to teach you things and help you grow, whether it's through faith, religion, or whether it's through education, whether they're schooling you on the basketball court. They're helping you in all sorts of aspects. And it's not, so it's more of a mentor, but also they care about you, and they see you, and they generally want the best for you. And so being able to build those relationships with the volunteers and the staff members always been great for me. I still hold dear to my heart, close to my heart.
That's good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's people. We have some of our folks that support Victory Project that you've met even after you graduated, that have reached out and said, "I want to meet those guys, spend time with them." That you even after VP, but because you're around VP as an alumni, there's people you're still impressing, and people that still want to mentor you. As Griff, has anybody else kind of helped you post Victory Project?
Yep. So I've been talking to a few people from post Victory Project. Actually, one guy I've talked to is a guy named Mike. Guy named Mike Mathieu, who I actually met through Victory Project and through you, Monnie, as well. He came in for a dinner, and I was coming back to visit. He's actually had kids who go to CJ, so we're able to connect about CJ, but also through Victory Project. And so he's kind of been mentoring me and talking to me, trying to help me figure out this thing we call life, and just my career as I go on. Another one, a guy named Greg, he's on the board, or he's the trustee.
Oh yeah, Greg.
Yeah, Greg Roberto, being able to meet him and talk to him, conversate with him. So even like you said, even as an alumni, Victory Project, you still have these connections, whether you're in a program or you graduated from the program, that's still helping you basically further improve yourself in life. They still want to see you succeed. They still want to see you grow. It's just so cool to be able to have that family, with Victory Project on the front of you. And so, you're able to connect with other people and just help each other,
Well, man, that is something that we love about VP is now we're getting hundreds of alumni now.
Mm-hmm.
And, guys that started back in 2009, they're in their mid 30s. They're bringing their kids around, showing them where they were at VP. We've got so many like great guys in all different industries. I think with you and your brother, definitely some of the highest achieving alumni, especially when it comes to post college. We don't have a lot of master degree guys, and your brother become an attorney. So that's now you just need a doctor. So somebody's going to one up him now and become a doctor.
Yeah, just creating that pipeline of success through Victory Project from whatever it may be, whether it's going to the special services, whether it's going to school, going to trade school, whatever it may be. Just here to create the pipeline through Victory Project to help the kids that's in it right now. So I'll be happy once I get to a point to where I'm able to pour in even more financially as well to kids in the program, and also being able to see like the guys I went to the program, what they're doing, like Jerome, Cameron, Greg. It's just great to see everyone doing their own thing, but still coming back to support. So I think Victory Project is in great hands, and it's just continuing to grow, and it's going to get better and better.
Well, man, a lot of our guys, we talk about when I do onboarding with new students, I show them a lot of videos and pictures of our alumni when they were their age, and I'll talk about what they're doing now, because it lets them know, hey, we're standing on the shoulders of other young men who've come through this program and have, dedicated themselves to God and have working hard, and they're doing amazing things now, and you can too. And you can look at these guys and see that it's possible. It's not just the philosophy. There's guys that are doing hard work and making some tough decisions, but succeeding because of that kind of foundation. So you're definitely guys we point out. You and your brother on pictures and posters all over the place. All right. Well, I think that we'll kind of wrap it up here. Keyshawn, what's maybe one thing you would like the listeners to remember from today's episode? 2
new books you've got to check out about facing no and going through the struggles to get closer to that yes. I'm definitely going to add them to my list to check out after this for sure.
That's good. Kier, what's maybe something you heard that you think the listeners should cue in on?
It's basically it's basically what Keyshawn said. It's okay to accept no. Just take it as a accomplishment, just improve from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me, it's the idea of how important resilience is. To have real resilience is when you're facing true adversity, whether it's economic or whatever that might be, and be able to kind of fight through that and use it not as something that holds you down, but almost use it as rocket fuel. I'm going to use this to power my way through, and you get better and better at doing it. And God, no matter what comes your way, God's got your back and he's going to get you through that. So
definitely something we have to start instilling in our young man.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, Keyshawn, for helping co-host.
Thank you.
Yakir, thank you, sir. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Markel, man, thank you so much for being here today and sharing some of your experiences and insight.
I appreciate that. It's been a blast.
All right, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, Monnie.
All right. If you're listening, you can go to several of the platforms to find us on Apple and Spotify. If you would like to watch the program, you can go to YouTube, and you can find all those links at our website, victoryproject.org. Until next time, God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Victory Project podcast. If you believe in changing lives through faith, discipline, and opportunity, then you're in the right place. Keep showing up. Keep being the light. Until next time, remember, victory isn't just a destination. It's a way of life. Learn more at victoryproject.org.